guys, so this piece is finished. And did I dress to match it? Yes, I did. So what have I done here? First I painted it one color of green, then I cross-hatch different colors on top. When we reached the ugly stage, we kept going, and then I've done few layers, probably 4 of the cross-hatching different shades of green. Then I added the stencil, gold stencil everywhere on the sides as well. Then after that we added the furniture transfers. I've used the whole tube of the large transfer. I then added the molds, and then we sealed it with lacquer and started aging the piece. So I've added dark wax, then some other waxes like pink and yellowish gold and another gold. The piece has loads of texture on the sides as well, really nice. And then we finished off with the drawers, also probably better from the side. We've done, I can't move it when it's on the wheels. We've done a stamp design on the side, and then also added some gold to the lip of the drawer and to the little side here, and used furniture tonic to revive the wood and to seal my stamp design, and then it's finished. So it's a really nice piece. I decided to leave the legs, they were the way they were, and yeah, what do you think? So this is the piece I'm gonna start working on, and I have actually a whole set. I have a dressing table like this and a writing bureau on those really nice legs. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a layered look, something like this, but maybe all in greens, because on my recent class, one lady done really nice box with layered blues, but I think I'm gonna go with all the greens on this one. Do some cross-hatching technique, but first I'm gonna prime it with a bonding primer because it's a little bit too shiny, and then we're gonna start painting. I'm gonna start with painting it one color. I'm gonna start with the darkest of my greens, and then I'm gonna layer other greens on top. So the first one will be Amsterdam Green, and I'm gonna do probably 2 coats. We'll see how it goes, but probably 2 coats of this color everywhere, 2 solid ones, and then we will add other shades of green and start layering, start doing cross-hatching technique, and create that texture and depth to that piece. It's a nice sunny day today, so that should dry quick, and I might even manage to start doing the layers today. There we go. We will be doing some layers in a cross-hatching technique to build that depth. I'll be using loads of different greens, but one at a time. So I think I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm using the brush like this so it's uneven. So somebody's mowing the lawn, so it's uneven. It's gonna give me a nice texture, and that will be a great brush for my cross-hatching technique. So we're gonna start with this green. Go. Just a little bit on my brush, up and sideways. Overlapping. And the more layers you add, the more depth and texture that will give you. And they also are thin layers, so they dry really quickly. And then you can just do it in no time. Because by the time I do this whole piece, then when I come back to this side, that will probably dry. And then I can go with the second layer of a different color. I will do this whole side. That will be enough for the first layer. I'll show you up close. So I'm gonna do the whole piece and then we will come back for the second layer on this side. Okay, I have done the whole piece with the first green. It doesn't look good. There will be lots of ugly stages with this technique, so bear with me and don't get discouraged. We're gonna go with the second color. I'm gonna go for the capability green. There we go. And we're gonna do exactly the same. I'm using the same brush. I've tried it a little bit with hair dryer because it wasn't really dry. And then we do the same thing with another green. Both ways, sideways and up and down. And now with only the second layer, we already build in that depth and that texture, and then with every other layer it will get better and better, and we'll add more, and just whenever you're happy with it, because you don't have to use all those colors that I'm gonna use, you can just do those 3 colors again and again and again. You don't have to have many different colors, but just do more than 1 layer of each color to create that texture. You can do it only with 2 colors and just you know, layer them on top of each other a few times, and that will be absolutely fine as well. It's just about that depth. There we go. That green doesn't really look green anymore. On that it looks more maybe like olive or a little bit grayish cream. There we go. Okay, so this layer is now done. Yeah, and I prefer to have more those really thin lines rather than this, because they will really create, that's why I'm using a brush like that, they will really create that depth and that interest. There we go. I'm gonna show you up close. Okay. Let's see. See, we are building layers. Still doesn't look good. There's still an ugly stage. That's why we add more and more. That's the third layer. So we are slowly getting there. Okay, I think I'm gonna add this color, which is Firle or whatever it's called, but it's my favorite color from Annie Sloan. And sorry, I just got a parcel delivered with my new earrings, so so I thought I'm gonna put them on because I really like them, and I'm going out in a second. So I'm gonna add this color, and then I think I'm gonna add Amsterdam Green again to kind of bring everything together. So that will be the darkest green that was the first base color. So same again. I really love this color. So nice. It's between kind of yellowy green and really nice and bright. There we go. Yeah, the more you add, the better it looks, in my opinion. So you can really see that nice cross-hatching technique there, and that pattern, kind of like tartan, or it's just, yeah, really nice. There we go. And then I'll probably add some transfers on this piece, maybe some molds, and to add some more interest. And of course, I always say more is more, so I like adding and adding and adding to my pieces. There we go. That looks nice. See? Okay, yeah, I think after that I'm gonna add the dark green to bring everything together. Okay, I think I have enough layers. Go Phoebe, go Dada. I have enough layers, and I'm gonna add my dark green again to bring everything together. We'll see how that goes. Okay, exactly same technique. Just to tone it down a little bit. I know I'm not the toning down person normally, but it will just look a little bit better with only those layers peeking through. Let's see. Then if you want more color, you can continue again with those layers of other colors, but I think this will be my last layer. And then of course gold, as always. I love adding gold. There we go. Try to go, not to press too hard, because I want those small lines. I don't want big blobs like this. Here and there that's fine, but mostly I want those small lines. Yeah, I think that would be nice. Something in my eye. What do you think? Something in my eye is annoying. Okay. And then I'm gonna add some transfers. And then maybe some gilding waxes, maybe some glaze later on to add more depth and stuff, but painting wise, I think that should be close to being finished. There we go. Yeah. Let's have a closer look. Okay, that's everywhere now. Yeah, I think I'm done with painting. We're gonna do other things to it next, but first it has to dry for a few hours before I add any transfers or anything else to it. Okay, I want more. I want more on this piece. I think it needs more. So I'm gonna add this stencil everywhere, but not completely full. Will be like here and there, and then on top of that I'm gonna add transfers. So let's see how it goes. It's so hot today, but I'm not complaining. Okay, I really like this stencil. I use it often. It's really nice. I'm just going around with my brush here and there, so it's not a full coverage. Oh, I'm not gonna manage. And yeah, it's gonna take a while, but it will dry in no time today because it's so hot, which is great. So I can actually achieve a lot today. Oh yeah. Stay in place. It's so hot. I am sweating. Don't move. It's on wheels, so it keeps on moving. Almost there. Okay. Whew. Okay, something like that. Not the full coverage. Here and there. I'm gonna do everything else, but probably off camera because I'm wearing a mini skirt, so I don't want to flash anybody. That's the stencil everywhere. I'm gonna let it dry and then I'll put some transfers on it. Okay, I'll be applying a transfer. It's called the Spring Branch. I've used it before. It's really nice transfer from the design of Prima, and I hope that it's not too hot because it is very hot. I'll add it here. There's lots of different branches on it, and I will be cutting them and layering them so it all looks natural and it's just flowing on the design. It should go quick. So the way you apply the transfer, put it down, grab it with your stick, and then you can see that it's coming off. It's getting lighter when you rub over it, so then you know that it transferred onto your furniture. I'm going to stack it everywhere before I start pulling, and then start pulling. So this one is going really easy. Sometimes they don't go easy. Sometimes it's better to seal your piece. I didn't seal this one. I very rarely seal them before I apply a transfer. But if it's not going well, you can seal it and then try again. But because it's so hot, then I know that my paint is definitely dry, even though I've just done the stencil today. Yeah, it's all coming off. And if you peel it and it didn't transfer onto the furniture, just put it back down and then rub over it again and peel it again. Okay. Go over those little bits first, so they are definitely sticking. And sometimes I try from a different end. Like here. I'm melting in here. Let's do some hot. There. And make sure that this is all stuck. And that's this one done. Then you rub over it with your finger. You can rub it over with the elastic sheet, and you can also use a pad like this to get rid of that halo so you don't see it anymore. There we go. Here. And there it is. Oh, let's see up close. Nice. So I'm gonna add loads and loads of them everywhere, and I'll show you after. That's the whole transfer now used and applied everywhere. There we go. So your transfers are such a nice and easy way of really taking your furniture to another level, because it looks so much better now, doesn't it? I painted my mold with brown paint, and then I added gold highlights, and it's gonna go probably somewhere like that. So it's kind of in the style of the stencil, and just adds another interest. So I'm gonna super glue it on, and one on the other side, and then one other mold, I think, on the top drawer at the front, this one. So yeah, I'll do it now. That's the mold added on the side, at the front, and on this side. The piece is almost done. I will have to take the drawers out and sand them on the sides because some of them are stiff. Then I'll do the legs, some contrasting color, maybe pink to go with those little flowers. And then, yeah, I'll see if I'm satisfied with that or if I'm gonna add any more. Okay, I took all the drawers out to sand them a little bit on the sides and like underneath, and also on the top lip, because they weren't closing. Cleaned everything, and now I'm gonna seal it with lacquer because it was really hot outside, so I couldn't do it during the day, and I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow because it's going to be hot again. So now it's like after 9 p.m, so I'm gonna seal it, but the light is not the best to record it, so I'm gonna use Annie Sloan lacquer, but I'm gonna use the matte one, not gloss. I'm using gloss one on a garden fence commission that I'm working on. And I'm gonna do one coat today, and then probably another coat tomorrow, and that will be it. And then there will be, you know, gilded waxes, dark wax, maybe some glaze. We'll play with the finishing touches, but for now I'm gonna seal it, and that's it. I have added some gold to the lip of the drawers. I haven't added anything to the sides yet. I'm gonna start adding brown wax to the body, and I think I'm gonna leave my legs the way they are because I quite like them wooden. Okay, we're gonna start adding brown wax. It's so warm that it's basically melting. So I'm gonna add it to my molds, and in those little bits and pieces there, kind of creating like a shadow around my mold. And then I take a cloth and I wipe it. It's been sealed with 2 coats of clear lacquer, because if that wouldn't be sealed, then I would just make it dirty and I wouldn't be able to wipe it. So I'm adding that there, but I also want my wax kind of everywhere, but more in corners. And then the top corners and underneath that, and in that little bit there. There we go. I'm gonna wipe it. I think I want it on the whole body as well. Here and there. I don't want to make it too dirty, but I do want it dirty. And if you ever think I added too much somewhere, just take clear wax and go over it with clear wax and it will take the excess off. We used that technique on my recent class that I had at home, and the ladies could remove the excess that they put on, so that was good. Yeah, it's kind of nice doing it in the hot weather like this, because the wax is going on so smooth. And it's also easy to wipe off as well because it's melted. There we go. Yeah, I like it like that. A little bit aged, less perfect. And then I'm gonna add some gold waxes and stuff like that on top and play around with them. But for now I think this is good for the brown wax. Yeah, I really like this piece. Now, because this piece is all sealed and I added the brown wax yesterday, now we're gonna add colored waxes. So I'm gonna start with the pink, because we have some pink on the transfer. So I'm gonna add pink to my mold here and there. It's a very bright pink, but I like it. Okay, then I have this wax, which is really nice, kind of nice and light and sparkly. So here and there we are picking up this nice texture that we created, just using my finger, and it smells really nice as well. So just doing some highlights. Little interest goes a long way. That's a nice texture there. can just play with different colored waxes here and there. Spread them with your finger. And then I have the gold. It's an aged brass. So I'm going with my finger again. A little bit darker. I really like this piece. It's not too crazy, but I like the texture and everything else, and I just like the style of this piece itself, you know, the legs and the way it was built. Kind of really nice style of furniture. And yeah, you can take a brush sometimes as well if you want. Go a little bit of mouldings in between. Just add this interest. There we go. Here. And then I'll also add the pink over here and on the sides. And this piece is almost finished. I have to do the front. I've done the pink at the front. I will just do the light yellowish sparkly one, and the other side is done as well, and then it's kind of finished. I only have to do, I mean, don't have to, but I always do the sides of the drawers, because when you open them it's this nice little surprise if you have a stencil on the side of the drawers. So I will do that, but I'm not going to line my drawers with wallpaper because they're quite nice. The condition of them is nice. So I will leave them just wooden in original state as they were. Okay. Here and there. Very random. But we like random. There we go. Lots of on my finger. But let's have a look. Nice, isn't it? So I'm gonna leave the legs the way they are because I kind of like them wooden. I was thinking doing them pink, but I think they look nice wooden. It goes with the brown that we added and stuff like that. And then, like I was saying, the drawers are nice inside, so I'm just gonna add furniture oil or salve, and I'm gonna do something on the sides. But other than that, this piece is done. So I'm gonna do the design on the sides. Sometimes I do stencils, sometimes I do stamps, but I prefer to do stamps because stencils can be a little bit thicker and leave that little build up, and then your drawers will not close perfectly. So I then prefer to do stamps. Of course, you can say, oh, it's just because you have too much paint on your brush with your stencil. You can do very thin stencil, and that's correct. But, you know, life, it is what it is sometimes. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it doesn't. And you also see, I shouldn't really be teaching anybody because you see my stamps? Yeah, I took them off the plastic sheet that they come on, and now they are all curled and not flat, and that's really bad, but it is what it is. Maybe one day I will learn not to do that. So I have some paint. I've picked purple to have a little. Oh my god, my phone fell, but now it's back. I have my little neck brace again. Let's see if it works. So, putting my stamp here. And pressing it down. There we go. Let's hope it works. There it is. Nice. So I'm gonna do the rest of it, and then all the drawers, and then I'm gonna seal my stamp and protect my drawers with furniture salve, which I love. Gives great scent. The furniture smells so nice after, and also protects it and revives the wood. Okay, so this is easy, and now I'm gonna do it a few times more. This side is done. I'm gonna put them on the other side and do the other side. Okay, so this is the last step. The step, not stop. I use the furniture tonic. Before I was always using the furniture salve, but it's more like a wax. I mean, it still works great, but this is quicker because it's a tonic, so it's a liquid and it works quicker. And I use a sponge. Then you can just put some there. Smells really nice, and then you move it everywhere with your sponge. Then it also revives the wood. You move it to the sides as well, everywhere. There we go. And here you can see that the color is then changing a little bit. It looks better. And in here. Okay. And then I also use it on the sides. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna move it a little bit like that, and that's gonna protect my stamp and to revive my wood. There we go. Nice. And then the other side. This side. Okay, and this one is done. Then 5 more to go.